Marvel's Eternals continues to defy the expectations of many, and not in a good way, as in, this thing is going way lower than most people predicted. Now it's in the high 40s, and with another estimated 100 reviews due out by the time all is said and done, people are saying this is probably going to end up in the low 40s and could possibly even enter the 30s on Rotten Tomatoes. So, if you care about that type of thing, I guess this is your thing that you're going to care about. So Rotten Tomatoes is always an interesting one, right? It's always interesting to look at it and what happens with the film and how people perceive Rotten Tomatoes scores and what the critics say and how the tone shifts between if a film that you love has a high one as opposed to a low one, and how you're going to frame it, so forth. Look, Rotten Tomatoes is wrong. The Last Jedi has like a 91. They're wrong. You know what's a great film, though, with a high 90s? The Dark Knight, greatest cinema of all time. Rotten Tomatoes said so. But they're using Rotten Tomatoes to say one is wrong, one is correct, and then they'll point to another film that has a low and say, well, this is real great. It's all over the place. Look, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as you enjoy a film, right? That's what it's about. As long as you enjoy it, that's what matters, not what other people say. But people are rather worried that this is going to damage the brand and that there's something going on here. And again, it doesn't mean it's a 40 out of 100. It doesn't mean it's a 4 out of 10. People never understand this when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. It just means the less critics enjoyed it. I mean, that's it, right? That's it. That's literally all it is. It's a number again. And I mean, some reviews you have to kind of look a little bit more in depth. And again, I've already covered the aspect of why is there reviews on here that are pulling in religious beliefs and they say they haven't seen the film, but they gave it a 1. That doesn't make sense. So you kind of got to go through that. But there's also reviews that are like, I give this movie a C+. But when you convert that into whatever scale Rotten Tomatoes is using or however, it could be a 2.5 out of 5. That means it's a 50, right? So they put it as a 50% or 5 out of 10. That's not how that works, though, because the 5 point or the 10 point technically on the 5 scale is not the same as like a 20 point on a 10 scale. So there's always these problems in translating a letter grade to a number and all this. Again, it's also problematic, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's in the 40s. I don't know. That's up to you. I said what I thought about it in my no spoilers review. We're going to do a big spoiler discussion because me and Mitch are the complete opposite on this. And I know a lot of people always say, you guys agree on a lot. Well, wait till you hear our podcast discussion because I guarantee we're not going to agree on a lot here because we're on the complete opposite sides of the spectrum. So it's going to be interesting to see what more people think, especially in those last 100 reviews or so that got to come in. But if it's true, if people do believe this is going to sink into the high 30s, and I'm ready to see that war.